Hi, greedy 3Ders. We have been presented with some brand new resin to try. I've been sent some of this Maker Resin in grey and in black. It's from a company that I've certainly never heard of, who reached out to me and asked me if I'd like to try their resin. Well, of course, I said yes, and I'm going to be popping it into the Ultracraft Reflex RS Turbo to see just how we get on. If you're interested, stay tuned. So this is the resin's website. It's photocentric and the resin is called 3D Maker, and it's just showing us 20 quid for a kilogram, which is not a bad price at all. Now, I've got to say, as wrapping goes and as boxing goes, this thing has the best boxed resin I have ever received. There's so much packaging, and I did reach out to the company and say it's the best packaging I have ever seen in a resin. We're going to be using the grey first, and it's got one of those typical half semicircular spouty things, which I'm just going to pour straight into the Ultracraft Reflex RS Turbo. Obviously I can't auto feed this unless I put it into one of their bottles, but no need for that. I'm just going to pour it straight into the vat, just a bit to start with. And here's a few features. I want you to concentrate on this one particular bit: low irritancy, ACMO-free. What's interesting with this resin is it's got no ACMOs, or acryloyl morpholines. These are chemicals that are added to the majority of 3D printing resins because they make the process a little easier at a cost, which I'll talk about. Now, ACMOs do a number of things to the resin. They make it less viscous, make it less thick, it runs easier. And if you think about when the build plate lifts and the resin has to run back underneath it, the thicker it is, the longer it takes, and the more the chance that it won't get under there in the consistencies and the levels that are needed for good quality printing. The second thing it does is it reduces the curing time. So rather than a 5, 6, 7 second curing time per layer, ACMOs reduce this to 1 or 2 seconds, which, as you can imagine, speed is a big driving force with 3D printing. The other thing, it makes the resin a little bit cheaper. It's a cheap-ish component to add into it, but it has those benefits we spoke of before. The downside to ACMOs is they are the things that can make you irritations on your fingers and your hands. They can get into your lungs and give you all sorts of horrible things. They're not nice materials to work with, and often when you get a rash on your hands, this can be down to the ACMOs. Now, even if you take ACMOs out of 3D printer resin, it's not safe. There's no way it's safe. You've still got to wear your gloves and your respiratory protection, etc. But this is just another chemical that it can be an irritant to a lot of people, and not having it in there, in some ways, of course, is a good thing. In many ways it's a good thing, but that comes at a cost. That will increase your printing time, because if you also think about it, one of the recommendations with ACMO-free resins is a rest time between lift, and for this resin in particular, I've been advised it's a 7-second rest time. Now, if you think about that, that's 7 seconds added on to every single layer, and you've already got a 5, 6, 7 second exposure time. The length of your print is going to be a lot longer. Now, that may not bother you at all, but if you're running maybe a print farm and speed is an issue to you, or speed is an issue for any other reason, then this resin will take longer to print the results that you'll get with the ACMO. So you've got that balancing act against a chemical in there that could be an irritant against the speed of it printing, and that is ACMO in an absolute nutshell. Now, other companies make ACMO-free resin. I know Formlabs do it in their Creator series, and it's something that other people are adopting onwards and going with. The problem now we're going to see is that printers like AAYGS won't work with this resin. It just won't have it, because exposure times with AAYGS printers are a lot lower, and that's not the resin's fault. I've got to say this is down to AAYGS not opening up their system to be changed and allow us to mess with exposure settings. So that's a negative for you guys, AAYGS. You really need to listen to what I'm saying. You can make such a difference by just allowing users to open up an option within your slicer to change the settings. I hope you're listening. It's really, really important, because as more and more resins are made, if they're made ACMO free, less will be compatible with the AAYGS machines, which means people will have to buy the AAYGS resins, and a lot of people don't like to do that. So this is a kind of, it's a business thing, and I just think you need to listen to me. But ACMO free is a good idea. Of course it is. Anything that makes 3D printing safer is a good idea, but everything is about balance and comes at some kind of cost, whether that's financial or health. So I guess just to try to prove my point, I did try to print this on a RAAYGSCQLM machine, and I printed the Frozen XP test. And when we get it off the build plate, well, at first glance it doesn't look too bad because it's printed, you know, something has happened, there's been some curing of resin on there. But when we get it out and we get it off and we clean it all up and we have a real good look at it, we can see that there is some underexposure going on, and this is the part 10 setting initially. And if you just look at it, it's not horrendous, but look at the lettering. The lettering needed more curing time, and I just couldn't change anything in that. The rest of it doesn't look horrendous. That's a testament to the RAAYGSCQLM printers, I have to say, but it needed more cure time. The PAWR10, I tried another profile, and again, no lettering at all. The center parts, the point here is it's not compatible with RAAYGSCQLM. It needs a longer curing time, and you can't have a longer curing time in the RAAYGSCQLM setting. So I had to crack out my old Mars 5 Ultra to dig that one out, and I popped it in there. Now the problem with the Mars 5 Ultra is it's not got a heated vat, and the other thing with non-ACMO resins, because they're so thick, is you really need to heat them up as much as you can. Now I needed to change exposure time from what I would normally use, which is just a couple of seconds, up to, we tried it at 5 seconds first of all, and I didn't catch it, but I did change the rest before each layer of 7 seconds, so I did that also, and I printed it on the Mars 5 Ultra. As I said, the heater will make the resin obviously thinner, because as it gets hotter it gets thinner, so I did blast it across with a hairdryer, and I've got the little inside heater, the Elegant one, as you can see there, and that's printed on the much smaller build plate for the Mars 5, and it came off okay. It almost seemed like it didn't adhere to the build plate properly, but that just wasn't the case. It's printed fine. You can see all the details there. Look at the difference in the lettering. That one is printed okay. I'm okay with that now. So 5 seconds gives me a reasonable exposure time. You could have upped it a little bit if you wanted to, but I didn't really see the need to, so I printed the old Obi-Wan Kenobi head from SW3D on that 5 second exposure time with a 7 second rest, and yeah, it's looking all right, isn't it? It's printed well, we've got some good definition, it's definitely adhered to the build plate, which I like to see. And if we just have a little look at the head as I'm taking it off, you can see that it looks mostly good. Looks good, doesn't it? No real issues. I'm going to heat the supports up with a hairdryer, give them a twist, and they will come off. And there we go. So there's the first successful print I've had with this, with a 5 second exposure time, with a 7 second wait between layers, and I've used the heat as much as I could to warm it up. And there it is. I think you'd agree with me. I can't really fault that. Everything is printed as I would have expected it to. There's some fine detail in there. I'm happy with that. Let's try something a little more difficult. These are some Loot Studio 75mm and 32mm minis. Quite detailed ones. Same settings for these. Exactly heated with a hairdryer before the resin, obviously to warm it up. And then at the end of it all, when they've come off, heated them up with the hairdryer to get the supports off, and the supports came off both of these models really well. I can't really fault anything there. These were the Chitu Box medium supports, just their standard ones. I haven't changed them or fiddled with them or anything, but you know, yeah, we've got some prints and they've all worked and they've come off. Let's have a little look at them in detail. The shininess of it, I did speak to the company about that. That's just the nature of the resin, but you know what, a primer on that, which you're going to do anyway for your paint, and that's going to solve that problem anyway. But they've printed the details there. It's 5 second exposure. That's okay. I've got no real dramas with that. For that's the 75 mini. This is the 32 mini, so really small. And again, detail's all right. Needs to get some more of the supports off, of course I do, but look at the detail, it's all there. So 5 seconds is okay. Maybe could have given it a bit more, but you know, 5 seconds has worked fine. Going to the black now, exactly the same process. I'm using obviously my Mars 5. I've got to, there's me just warming that resin up with the hairdryer. I believe the company says 30 degrees is what we recommend, so I did give it a good old blast, put the internal heater in there during the printing process, and first thing I printed was the Frozen XP test again, just to see if 5 seconds would cut it for this material. And happy to say we had a successful print on the Mars 5. Let's get it off the build plate, because you never know till you get it off, do you? And it came off via the slight medium of a bashing spatula off it came. It's good, it's not cracked, it's not broken, it's not split, it doesn't look brittle, and here it is once it's been cleaned in IPA and then cured for about 10 minutes, and look at that, I'm happy with that. That's a good, I would suggest that's a good reasonable XP test. Happy with that, all the letters are there, wonderful. I don't really see any point in changing the design, so we printed the Obi-Wan Kenobi head again in the black, and yep, fine, no problems at all, printed wonderfully, happy with the detail and the result. Everything looks really good. It's a finely detailed head, there's lots of texture in the skin, and that's all come through wonderfully. And obviously here's the Loot Studio 32mm on the base, again happy with that. I think it even looks crisper in black, I've got to be honest. And we've got the 75mm one that we printed as well, and I think that everything has worked wonderfully. I've got no real problems or concerns with either of the colours of this resin, using a 5-second exposure and a 7 seconds rest, using, you know, obviously your heated vat as well. Let's drop them and do some bending. Let's see how strong this is. Is it brittle? Is it firm? Well, let's have a look. There is some movement, that's good to see. They're not breaking straight away, so it's definitely not a brittle material. But how strong is it? How much pressure can we put on it before it does actually break? Well, there you go, that tells you really. It's not brittle by a long shot, but a little bit of stress on there and yep, they will snap. The same with the little 32mm and the black one. I think it's time for a little bit of therapeutic dropping. Now, wasn't that fun? I mean, the base is falling off is going to be something that's going to happen. That was understandable. But if we just have a look at the 75mm figures, do you know what? They weren't too bad. There was little bits broken off them, but they certainly didn't smash into 1,000 pieces, as you know you would expect with a brittle resin. So it's certainly not a brittle resin. The heads, virtually no damage at all. I think we had a little bit of hair loss on Alec Guinness, but you know what, man doesn't have a little bit of hair loss. But realistically, there was nothing at all, and the little ones as well. Apart from the bases falling off, which again, let's see if I can get this in focus, was absolutely what we would expect. There was no real damage to them at all. So, you know, from a brittle perspective, the resin is fairly strong. It's quite tough. If you drop your Warhammer figure from a desktop onto a wooden floor, you're going to get a little bit of damage, maybe. Your base is going to fall off, maybe. But you're going to be able to recover it. I don't think it's going to smash into 1,000 pieces, as you would expect with a brittle resin. So not a bad old test of this resin. So what do we think of this resin after using it? Well, I've got to be honest, it's all down to your personal preference, because we come back to the ACMO question. Are you happy to have ACMO-free resin? And because of that, are you happy for longer exposure times, thicker, more viscous resin, but a safer resin in the process? And that comes down to you. For me, it's a good resin to use. The details are there, everything's good. It's not AAYGS compatible, so for me personally, it's not something I'm going to be using going forward. But if you're not a AAYGS user and you're using a printer where you can change the cure times and change the lift distance times and the rest times and all the other things that you can normally change in things, then it's definitely, if you're looking for a resin that's ACMO free, something that I would recommend. The Creator series from Formlabs is vastly more expensive. This is just over 20 quid if you get it from Amazon, and just under 22 quid I think it is if you buy it from their site. You've got to add a bit of postage and packing, but from a cost perspective, not bad at all. And you're getting ACMO free. If that's what you're looking for, then I can highly recommend this resin for you. And I've not been paid, I've not been sponsored to do this video at all. This video, they've just sent it me to try it, and you know, it speaks for itself. It's printed, it's survived the drop test to a certain extent. If you've enjoyed that, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm really interested to know, have you used this resin? Have you tried it? What do you think of it? What do you think of ACMO? Let me know your thoughts on ACMO free resins. Please subscribe to the channel. Think about joining the Greedy 3D Patreon. Thank you guys, my subscribers, and thank you again to my Patreons. You guys are fantastic. Thanks for all your support. I really enjoy testing things on the channel, whether it's printers or resin, and we have got a printer review coming up real soon. I'll say no more, but I love testing things, so if anybody out there wants anything tested, let me have it and I'll test it for you. Thanks for watching Greedy 3D, and I'll see you next time real soon.